excellent professionals at what they do every day. So our goal today is just, it's going to come at you straight. It's going to come out of a fire hose a little bit, but that's okay. You didn't accumulate everything in an hour. We're not going to be able to take care and plan for it all in an hour. Our goal today is to give you a couple of talking points. With those couple of talking points, it gives us a place to start. And we cannot finish anything until we do what? Until we start, right? You can't finish unless you start. That's just the way. I don't make these crazy rules up. This is just the way it goes in life. So first of all, we want to thank you for coming, like I said. My name is Steve Stern. I've been doing estate planning for over 18 years. I am older than I look, I promise. I am. I have 2 little kids at home, and the gray here gets hidden by the moose, so you can't see it. But I have 2 little kids at home, and I've been doing this over 18 years. I came up a very unique way. I actually started with the insurance companies on the inside, actually building products for retirees. So I've seen the inside of the boardroom and how they build it and why they build it. And then what we did is I also worked for a company where we took it and marketed it to the masses like yourselves. And I've actually sat at the table with mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and actually put estate plans together and helped them. And so I have a lot of experience on both sides, with the client and with the company. Now my friend over here, Mr. Mike, been with you all day. Michael has a brother Joe, so if I do call him Joe, it's totally by accident, but I've known his brother a long time. And so Mike and his brother and I all work together. Joe's in Northern California, Mike's down here, and Mike's the principal here of Financial. So I'll have Mike tell you a little bit about him.
Good evening, everybody. A little bit about me. Yeah, well, I do have gray hair and less of it, but I also have 3 daughters. Maybe that's the reason why. There they are, Maggie, Marissa, and Emma. That is my wife, Claire, that was actually checking you in. That's not just some strange lady I took to Paris. That was actually our trip that we went to Paris this spring.
She might be a little strange.
Yeah, she's with me, so enough said. I started my career actually working off of Wall Street back in New York. And through the process, ended up establishing my own firm where I get to call the shots. So I've been doing that for over 7 years, but I started on Wall Street back in 1991 and have moved into over here at MDC Financial because I was tired of working for other people, so I wanted to work for myself and working directly with my clients. And so thank you for accepting our invitation. We're going to cover some things fast and furious over the next hour or so, and enjoy. Take notes. Questions? Fire away.
When you came in, you were handed a packet. 2 quick homework assignments. Number 1, there was a sheet on here. It's called your client engagement form. There was also an envelope that was paper clipped to it. What we want you to do is just read this and fill the information out. We want you to check the boxes that pertain. We want you to initial it. Sign the bottom. I want you to then fold it up, and we want you to stuff it in the envelope, and we want you to seal the envelope. We will not open these until we meet. That's just something that we do with our clients. There's a reason for it. We want to get you engaged. We want to see where your goals are. If you're with your spouse, do it together. One word of caution, we do not play marriage counselor. And it is amazing how you and your spouse do not think the same way about what you have. So just fill them out, fold them, and then seal them up. Just have to pull the little tag and seal them, and write your name on the front, because we're going to collect these. And what we do is when we sit down with you and we have our meeting, we will open this then and we will go through this and we will show you how we're going to answer these questions that are on these sheets and help accomplish your goals. We think it's very important. They always talk in any kind of business, you always start with the end in mind. We need to know where your end in mind is so we know where to start. So you can take 2 seconds and do that and seal them up, throw them in there, and we'll go in there. Some quick housekeeping items, everybody. We're going to go for about 65 minutes or less. The restrooms are out back towards the front. We're going to have refreshments. Obviously, dinner, you folks have all had your orders taken. We are going to have lots of answers. We're hoping we stimulated some questions. Okay, we will answer them. Stop us. We will stop on the dime and we will answer those questions. If you have a cell phone, turn it off or turn it to silent mode. Why? We will keep talking. Your neighbors will keep giving you dirty looks. Okay, but we will keep going. Yeah, that's okay. Here's all the stuff that we're going to talk about today. Like I said before, you're not going to plan in an hour what you took a whole lifetime to accumulate. But we're going to talk a little bit about wills and living trust, retirement income planning, tax strategies, investments, life insurance analysis and planning, long-term care strategies. This is the big three down here: continual client service and planning reviews. I know everyone in this room reviews their stuff once a year, just like clockwork, correct? Yeah, we kind of need to, okay? Some of you need to review it every quarter, depending where your stuff sits. Some of you feel like you need to review it every minute with how topsy-turvy everything is right now. We like to keep you informed of the rule changes. We are getting rule changes all the time. Are you keeping up with them, and are you taking advantage of the rule changes as they come? You all know that 11 years ago, the federal government made significant change into qualified plans and IRAs, correct? Yes. You do. What was it? It wasn't the Roth IRA. So tell me what it was. Did you take advantage of it? Believe it or not, the government gave you one of the greatest givebacks, and if you don't use it, they gave you nothing. You have to use it. You have to understand it. And not a lot of people do. We've been practicing it since January of 11 years ago. We get this, okay? How many people knew that you can now, if you own an annuity, you can move your annuity into another annuity, and you could take out the money income tax free for long-term care? Did you know that?
Yes.
You did. How can we do that? There was something called the Pension Protection Act, PPA, was signed years ago. Finally, something came to fruition out of it for us today. Are you taking advantage of that at all? If you don't take advantage of the things they're setting up, there's no point in having it. So let's take advantage of it. Last but not least, we like to monitor your changing financial circumstances. Things change, they change all the time, and we understand they change at a blink of an eye, just like you do. So we need to make sure plans are in place, so if those changes happen positively or negatively, we don't feel the impact. Is that fair? All right. We have an old cliche: people do not plan to fail, they just fail to plan. That is a very old cliche, but it's very, very true. How do we know it's true? I have yet, and I know that Mike, we have yet to meet a person that says, yes, I want to keep losing money in the stock market. I haven't met that person yet. I want to keep paying tax on my Social Security. I would love to forfeit everything I worked for to the government because I got sick and had to go to the nursing home. Man, I want to have a couple of attorneys just rummage through my estate and tell the whole public what I have. Does anybody say that? But does it happen? Every single day. Why? Because you did not set up a game plan to protect it all. If you came here thinking we were going to show you the latest and greatest of how to put $1 in and have $20 million, you are in the wrong spot. That is not what we do. Has anyone ever been to those seminars? If you put your $1 in 1970 and you left it there, you'd have $10 million. Well, it's not 1970. I want to meet the guy that put the $1 in there, because no one ever did. Our goal today is protection and preservation. Guarantees, safety, security, income you can never outlive. If that is not for you, you're going to get a little bored, because that's what we're going to talk about today. Our first topic is wills versus trust. I want to give you a very big disclaimer. I am not an attorney. I never wanted to be an attorney. I never want to be an attorney, okay? However, wills and trust, having your proper documents in your estate is incredibly important, and we're going to show you why. First is what we call conservatorship. One of the hazards of not planning your estate, the first one's conservatorship. What is it? This is when an outsider manages your estate if you become incapacitated. I'll give you a great example. Please don't laugh at this. Think of Britney Spears. She's not incapacitated, right?
No.
However, can she go and run her estate and do what she wants to do when she wants to do it? No. Who does she have to ask? Daddy. How would you like to be a grown woman and have to ask your daddy for permission to go do what you want to do? Well, now imagine if you're 60, 70, 80 years old and having to ask a stranger. Why? Because there's court costs and attorney fees. If you go to conservatorship, you have to hire an attorney to represent you, and the court appoints an attorney, so you get to pay for both of them. You get CPA fees to manage the books. Once a year, you have to open your books to the court. And they want to make sure A and B equals C, and you get to pay for that also. You've lost control of your estate. You cannot do what you want to do when you want to do it. We would prefer that you avoid this, okay? Next is probate. You've all heard the term, right? What is it, though? It's a legal process of transferring your assets to your heirs following your death. We like to call it an attorney's retirement plan.
Yeah.
See, what probate does is it has a pretty significant cost to it. Add up your whole estate.